What's up guys, Coach Jake here with Tampa Sports Academy. Today we're going to talk about lower body mobility and a couple of the mobility exercises that I use for my clients before we get into workouts. Alright, so the first mobility exercise we're going to do, we're going to work on hip external rotation. So when we squat, when we do those lower body movements, we want to make sure our hips can move in every single range of motion. So this stretch right here is going to make sure that we can externally rotate that hip. How you're going to start? Butt on the ground, make 90-degree angles with both of your feet. So 90 degrees in front, 90 degrees on the side. What you're gonna do, you're gonna focus on stretching out the outside of this hip with that you have 90 degrees in front. What we're gonna do is bend at the hip. So I don't want you to roll your back down and put your chest straight to your knee. I want you to bend nice and slow and try to get your chest over your knee joint. You're gonna go straight down. You should feel a good stretch back here. And we're gonna make sure we're nice and mobile. So we're not just gonna stretch and stay. We're gonna move back and forth about 5 rotations. If you're really good at that, a little bit of more intense stretch, you can lean down and rotate your body through, just accentuate that hip stretch a little bit more. Okay, the next mobility exercise we're gonna do, this is basically gonna unlock our entire hip joint. The setup, how I want you to set up. You're gonna get long ways, get on all fours. Basically what I want you to do is do a split with your knees, but keep your feet nice and close together. Make a tabletop with your back, so I don't want you leaned over, I also don't want you all the way up here. Core nice and stacked, and we're gonna rock back and forth. Try to get your butt to your heels. Remember, it's not a stretch, we wanna work on mobility, so we're gonna rock back and forth about 5 times, getting nice and stretched out through that hip joint. So we already worked external rotation, so that's externally rotating the hip. Now I want you to make sure you can rotate your hip internally. The way we set up for this, similar to the full hip stretch, you're gonna get on all fours, drop down to your forearms, same thing. Do a nice big split with your knees. Try to stay as flat as you can with your core. Remember, not rounded here, not rounded there, nice and straight. Flare those feet out, and to internally rotate our hip, we're gonna pick our foot off the ground, make sure our knee is nice and anchored to the floor. So foot off the ground, squeeze. You should feel a good pinch right here in that upper hip. Those are those hip muscles that we want to activate. Make sure we're not nice and mobile through there. Same thing, we're going to go 5 rotations there, and then make sure you go both left and right side. Okay, lower body mobility. One of the big muscles in our lower body, our groin. We want to make sure we're nice and stretched out through there, nice and mobile through there. The way to set up for this, get nice and tall on one knee, like a straight line through my shoulders, all the way through my hip, all the way to my knee. We're gonna kick one leg out, try to put the sole of your foot on the ground. Not here, make sure the sole of your foot's on the ground. Same thing, nice and tall, and I wanna load my hips, get my butt back towards my back heel on the side that's bent. You should feel a good stretch through that inner thigh right there, all the way back up. We're gonna go 5 reps there. Obviously switch sides, same exact thing, nice and tall through the hip, sole of the foot on the ground, butt back towards my heel, good stretch, good mobility through there, rock back and forth 5 times. Last but not least, this is usually what I finish with. It's called the 90-90 drill. So similar to how we set up our first drill for extra rotation, you're gonna set up 90 degrees. So 90 degrees in front, 90 degrees to the side. You can use your hands to help you. Works a little bit more intensely if you don't. I'm gonna use my hands. The way that we're gonna do it, you're gonna lead this with your knees. Your feet should stay on the ground in the exact spot that they are. Your hands are gonna keep you there. So you're gonna pick up your knee, roll it as this one wants to lift up. I'm gonna roll it to my other side of the hip. Good right there. Same exact thing as all the other things, about 5 rotations. Nice and slow, all the way through. And we're good. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to give those mobility exercises a try on your next lower body day. Hopefully it makes you feel a little bit better. Make sure to like and subscribe. And once again, thank you guys for watching.